Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we're going to be having a look at the Ben Kenobi, the Tibidon Station figure from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Now, I picked this obviously 3-pack up. I did a quick review just of the actual packaging the other day, and today I just wanted to obviously have a look at the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. I think I mentioned in that last video, really love these card backs, really love this card back. Although obviously this is Ben Kenobi, as it said on that Tibidon Station. I think the actual image is obviously from where he is outside his sort of cave dwelling, I suppose, on Tatooine. But beautiful looking card, this. The one thing that I would say, and I know this probably sounds a little bit unfair, because I know there's plenty of people obviously still waiting for these to come through. But the one thing that I think is a little bit disappointing, and I think it's the same right throughout the whole of the series, is the fact that these are sort of starting to come through now, when obviously sort of the Obi-Wan series is sort of finished and they've moved on again with Andor. It does just seem a bit of a shame that we can't get these figures out at the time of the releases of these series. But that's a small minor gripe. As I said, beautiful looking card back. I think it's him just sort of standing outside his cave. You've got that Kenner logo in the bottom right hand corner, the warning in the top right as you look at it, and the 4+ age group on the top left. Comes on the lovely thick cardstock, and obviously this is unpunched. So for you carded collectors, this is obviously going to be one that you're going to want to try and get hold of. Certainly to add to your collection, not just because of the VC number, but also obviously because it's a beautiful unpunched card. The Ben Kenobi himself, obviously, on that light blue name peel is very striking. It works really nicely. And the fact that he's got that sort of blue cape, I suppose, not cape as such, but his blue tunic, the blue background works really nicely on that. Inside the bubble, the figure looks very nice. Obviously, as you can see there, with some accessories, you've got like a lightsaber hilt, the lightsaber, a gun, and it looks like a backpack. So let's have a look at the back of the packaging. So VC257, again on the back, that lovely Star Wars racetrack design. The other figures that are a part of this wave or will be coming shortly, obviously in this 3-pack, you've got Tika, obviously the Ben we've got here, the Purge Trooper, and then coming soon, you've got Luke Skywalker, Cal Kestis, Cassian Andor, the Artillery Stormtrooper, and Vel Sartha. So I think I've pronounced that right. Vel Sartha, sorry. So VC257. So just one final look at the front of the packaging, and then what we'll do is we will get this figure out of the packaging itself. So, okay, without further ado, let's do that. Okay, so here we've got the figure out of the packaging, and I've managed to get him on the spinner, which I have tried to put into a little bit more daylight. But it is obviously going quite slowly. It will probably stall on me again. This is a solar-powered one, and I don't seem to be able to get it enough sunlight at the moment. But anyway, it's giving you a nice look, obviously, as the figure slowly rotates. I've got to say, this is a really nice-looking figure. Really nice-looking figure. That soft goods cape, I don't think this video is going to do it justice, but works really nicely in terms of the way that it sort of hangs, certainly around the back of the figure. In terms of the actual figure itself, look, I mean, you can see I've got that on a stand, but I had a real problem obviously getting his foot onto that peg hole, just quite simply because these most modern releases, I don't know whether it is obviously to do with those rocker ankles, but the peg holes are so shallow. But other than that, look, that is a little bit of a minor gripe. The one thing that I would say on this figure, maybe it is just mine, his right leg does appear to be, and it's not just, by the way, it's not just I've got him on a peg hole, but it does appear to be just slightly, fractionally larger than the left, but minor gripe, as I said. But I mean, maybe with a bit of manipulation, I can get that working a little bit better. Let's get him off the spinner so we can have a look at the figure in a little bit more detail. Okay, so here we've got him off the actual spinner itself. And as I said, this is a really lovely looking figure. I mean, the actual head sculpt, see if we can bring that in. I think that is a really good. That's probably one of the best likenesses that we've actually had, probably, of Obi-Wan or Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. Again, just an opinion, but really nice. I mean, in terms of obviously sort of the colouring on this figure, he's got those sort of light brown boots, the sort of, it's almost like a grey, I suppose, I don't know what you really want to call that, sort of like an ankle band, and then the sort of the dark brown cargo pants, the nice sort of dark blue, his sort of tunic, I suppose, and then obviously, as I said, you've got this really lovely soft goods cape, which I don't know if we can get off, but let's see if we can get that off as well, just to see if we can have a look at the figure with that off. Yeah, so all you need to do is obviously just pop the head off to get this out, because quite simply the hole in the tunic, I don't know if you can see that, is really, really tiny. So you're not just going to be able to pull it over his head. But that actually works quite nicely. And the figure itself, without that on, also looks absolutely stunning. Really, really nice. Really nice looking figure. I mean, in terms of obviously the articulation, you know, I don't go into sort of the full details of showing it all, but you've got articulation obviously at the head with the swivel and the ball, articulation at the shoulders, at the elbows, at the wrist with a hinge. The articulation is just above the chest there, and obviously there's a small sort of abdominal crunch. You got the full sort of butterfly hinge with the just below the hips, and then articulation at the knees and those beautiful rocker ankles. So you're able to get this figure into some really, really lovely poses. In terms of the accessories, hang on, I think I've just knocked them on the floor, bear with me. Yep, I did. Sorry, I was just also going to show him from the back. So also some nice, just the colouring you can see. And then he's got that holster, which obviously you can pop the gun into, which works nicely as well. In terms of the accessories, I mean, I've obviously had a quick look at them through the actual plastic bubble itself. But you get the nice blue lightsaber. There's some quite decent attention to detail there with the sort of the gold and the sort of, it's almost got like a sort of a blackish sort of wash on that. So that's quite nice. Obviously the lightsaber hilt. You get this pistol, which actually, I know it's so tiny, I don't know if you're going to see that, but that's quite a decent plastic as well. There's not too much, it's not soft, if that makes sense. You know, you can't really sort of maneuver that around too much, which is good. And then you get this nice backpack, which is a nice touch. The only thing that I would say with the backpack, I was hoping that these bits down, this bottom bit would sort of pull away and so you could snap them in, but they don't. So, but that's a small detail. I'm sure we can pop that on the back of him, even with the cape on, which we'll try and do in a second. So lovely, that's nice. Let's get these sort of cape back on. Okay, so I did try getting the backpack on with the cape on, but it didn't really work properly, just quite simply because it just kept pushing that cape up. So you're probably going to, if you want to have him with that backpack on, you're probably going to have to remove that cape. But a lovely looking figure. If we bring in the other, obviously, example, which I think it's pretty much the same sculpt, which was the Wandering Jedi. Just bring him in alongside. Obviously, it's a very different cape. But the body sculpt, I think, essentially is exactly the same, pretty much. Minor changes, obviously, with regards to the belt. Fractionally. No, maybe it's not. Actually, I think it's exactly the same. Sorry, me saying that. Yeah, exactly the same by the looks of it. But just obviously different colours. But lovely. Great to have both. Really enjoyed this one. And I really, really like this one as well. As I said, you know, and it's a minor gripe. I don't mean it to sound like I'm being a bit petty. The only issue I would have is it's a shame, as I said, that we don't get these when, you know, the actual series was first out. But other than that, beautiful looking figure. As I said, if you're a carded collector, you're definitely going to want this. And obviously, if you're loose and you do like your Obi-Wan, then this is a great figure to get hold of. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe, please do. There'll be more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comments section below and I will come back to you as soon as possible. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.